The King's Guard aren't just elite soldiers protecting kings and queens. They are one of the UK's most iconic attractions, drawing massive crowds every single day. But have you ever wondered how much money this centuries-old tradition actually generates? Millions of tourists visit the UK each year just to witness the changing of the Guard, snap photos with the towering King's Life Guard on horseback, or test their luck trying to make the Royal Guard smile. But beyond the spectacle, there's a hidden economy at play, one that might just surprise you. Stay tuned, because the numbers behind this royal tradition are bigger than you think. And before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. Let's be honest, when people visit London, they don't just come for the rainy weather and overpriced coffee. They come for history, tradition, and that unmistakable royal experience. And nothing screams British royalty more than the King's Guard, standing tall in their iconic red tunics and black bearskin hats. But here's the real question. How much money do they actually bring in? Tourists spend big for a royal moment. Every year, millions of visitors flood Buckingham Palace, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Royal Guard. The changing of the Guard ceremony alone is a massive tourist magnet, drawing over 1.5 million people annually, and that's just at Buckingham Palace. Now think about the ripple effect. These tourists don't just come, take a picture, and leave. They book flights, hotels, and expensive afternoon teas. They pay for guided tours, buy royal-themed souvenirs, and spend hours waiting just to see the King's Life Guard on horseback march through the city. Tourism linked to the King's Guard brings in hundreds of millions of pounds every year. Some estimates suggest that royal-related tourism contributes over €500 million annually to the UK economy, and the Queen's Guard plays a huge role in that. King's Guard horses, a moving tourist attraction. It's not just the foot soldiers making money. Let's talk about the King's Guard horses. The majestic black horses of the King's Life Guard are another reason tourists flock to Horse Guard's parade. Visitors line up for the perfect selfie with these disciplined war horses, who remain completely unfazed by the chaos around them. But what most people don't realize is that these horses, and the entire cavalry tradition, play a key role in driving foot traffic to royal landmarks. More visitors equals more business for local restaurants, tour companies, and nearby attractions. Beyond Buckingham, the Guard's financial footprint. Most people think the Royal Guard is only stationed at Buckingham Palace, but their influence spreads across multiple key locations in London. Windsor Castle. Tourists flock here to see the King's Guard protect one of the most famous royal residences. The Tower of London. Even though the famous Beefeaters take centre stage, the presence of the Royal Guard enhances the historic feel. St. James's Palace and Horse Guard's Parade. Another hotspot where people gather to watch the King's Life Guard in action. Each of these locations benefits from the Guard effect, the ability of these soldiers to turn a simple security detail into a money-making machine for the UK economy. Would tourists still visit without the King's Guard? Here's where it gets interesting. Would London still be a top tourist destination without the King's Guard? Probably, but would it have the same magic, mystery, and sense of royal tradition? Definitely not. The truth is, people want to experience kings and queens, castles, and centuries-old customs. The Royal Guard represents a piece of history that you can actually witness in real life, not just read about in books. And let's not forget viral moments. Every few months, a video of a Queen's Guard shouting at a tourist or a King's Guard horse refusing to be touched goes viral, bringing even more attention to the tradition. Free advertising, anyone? The bottom line. The King's Guard isn't just a ceremonial unit. It's an economic powerhouse. From tourism revenue to merchandise sales, they are one of the UK's most profitable royal traditions. Think about it. How many times have you seen the King's Guard in movies? Whether it's action, comedy, or even animated films, Hollywood loves using them to add a touch of British elegance, mystery, or humour. Some of the biggest films featuring the Queen's Guard and King's Life Guard include James Bond, Secret Agents, high-speed chases, and the backdrop of the King's Guard make for an iconic British aesthetic. Johnny English, a classic example of how Hollywood plays with the stereotype of the ultra-disciplined, unshakable Royal Guard. Minions, even animated films cash in on the image, showing the King's Guard horses and soldiers in their full glory. But here's the interesting part. These movies don't just show the King's Guard for fun. They use them to tap into the global fascination with kings and queens, tradition, and the royal lifestyle, which in turn drives even more people to visit the UK. Luxury brands and the Guard effect. The King's Guard isn't just a movie prop, it's a marketing goldmine. Major brands have used their image to sell everything from designer clothes to watches and even cologne. Burberry and other British fashion houses. British luxury brands have capitalized on the Royal Guard's image to reinforce their heritage and prestige. The Guards symbolize timeless elegance, which makes them the perfect marketing tool. Luxury watches and perfumes. Several high-end brands have used the King's Guard in their advertisements to represent precision, discipline, and tradition, all qualities that make products seem more valuable. Hotels and travel companies want the royal experience. Many London hotels and airlines promote their services using images of the Royal Guard, attracting tourists who dream of living like kings and queens. Souvenirs, toys, and the merch industry. If you've ever walked into a souvenir shop in London, you already know the King's Guard is everywhere. From miniature figurines to plush toys, mugs, phone cases, and even Christmas ornaments, the Guards are turned into souvenirs that sell by the millions. But here's the real kicker. Most of these products aren't even made in the UK. Many of them are mass-produced overseas and sold to tourists at premium prices. So, while the King's Guard image is used to sell, not all of that money actually benefits Britain. Do the Guards themselves profit? With all this money being made from movies, brands, and merchandise, do the Royal Guard soldiers themselves see any of it? Not really. The Queen's Guard and King's Life Guard are full-time military personnel, and while they are part of this massive economy, they don't get a cut of the profits from their image. They earn a fixed military salary, regardless of how much money is made using their likeness. However, the UK as a whole benefits tremendously. Tourism booms, businesses thrive, and brands continue to use the King's Guard horses and soldiers to market their products. The bottom line. The King's Guard isn't just a ceremonial force, it's a multi-million-pound global brand. They appear in Hollywood blockbusters, sell luxury products, and attract tourists who dream of experiencing the royal lifestyle. What's your favorite movie or brand that features the King's Guard? Drop a comment below. The King's Life Guard and the Queen's Guard aren't just ceremonial figures, they're real soldiers, trained to defend royal properties if needed. But turning a recruit into one of these elite guards isn't easy or cheap. Intensive military training. Salaries. The Guards don't do this for free. The Royal Guard is part of the British Army, and while their salaries aren't extravagant, the UK government spends millions each year maintaining these highly trained soldiers. And here's the real kicker. Unlike most military roles, these guards also have to learn how to stand still, completely emotionless, no matter what happens around them. Sounds easy? Try doing it for hours in the freezing cold or scorching heat, while tourists do everything they can to make you laugh. The uniform. A luxury item. That red tunic and black bearskin hat. It's not just a costume, it's a custom-made uniform that costs more than you might think. Red tunic, made from high-quality wool, tailored for each guard. Bearskin hat. This is where things get expensive. A single bearskin hat costs around £650, 800 USD, and can last for decades with proper care. Boots, gloves, and accessories. Everything has to be polished, precise, and up to royal standards. Now multiply that by hundreds of guards, and you're looking at a serious expense. The King's Guard horses, a royal expense. The King's Life Guard wouldn't be complete without their legendary horses, and maintaining these animals is one of the biggest costs of the tradition. High-quality breeds. These aren't just any horses. The King's Guard horses are carefully selected breeds, trained for ceremonial parades and battle readiness, feeding and care. Each horse requires a strict diet, medical checkups, and regular exercise. This alone costs thousands of pounds per horse, per year. Training. These horses must remain calm under pressure, even when surrounded by loud tourists, cameras, and city traffic. The result? A flawless performance, but at a premium price. What do you think? Should the UK continue spending millions to keep this tradition alive? Drop a comment below. And if you love discovering the hidden economy behind royal history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.